Hi guys, it's Allie with Chaos Monkey, and I am just going to do a WIP video, and it's been a little while since I've done a video. I wanted to do one earlier, but I was having some technical issues, so yeah, I'm just going to kind of catch you up on what I've been working on and get a video out there. And this was my Jada and Stitches 2000, I always get this wrong, 2017 calendar blanket that I wanted to finish this year because I had started it in 2017 and never finished it. So here's my squares. So this was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. And September was the block that I made too big, and we were trying to decide if I should just make it smaller or make all the other blocks bigger. And I seriously looked in my stash to see if I could make all of these bigger by like one row in the color, and I had all the colors except for one. So I decided, okay, because of that, I'm going to have to make this block smaller. So I did rip back when I put the edge back on. And yeah, I ripped back the blue, redid the white, and it is a smidge smaller after blocking, but barely. See, it's barely, you can see it's like a little bit smaller. But it's practically the exact same size, so I'm cool with that. I don't know how I got an extra round in there, because you can see here it's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and somehow I did the extra round. And if you guys remember, I'm not happy with the size of the blocks, but I had already made 3 or 4 before I realized I didn't like the size, and then I didn't want to make them bigger at that point. But then when I saw this one bigger, I was like, I like that a lot. I want to make them all bigger now, but I couldn't because I didn't have one of I can't even remember which one I didn't have anymore, but I think it was this green maybe I didn't have any more of. But if I'd had them all, I would have ripped out and done another row on all of them, because I'm crazy like that. And as we know, this one I don't really like either. At the time I only had this tan, and I really don't like this. I don't know, I don't like that tan color, so I may redo this block. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I was going to do October's block, because this one was September's, but I didn't have any orange. I seriously have no like regular orange. I only have like traffic cone orange in my stash, so I'm going to have to wait and get some orange, because October's is the jack-o'-lantern, so I want to get the red orange for that. I have all the other colors except for the orange. I thought I had orange in stash, but oh well. So that's my crochet. I had another crochet item, which was the Mobius cowl, which I did a separate video on. That was my last video, and I'll link it down below if you want to see that. But I did a huge Mobius cowl out of some hobium yarn. It was kind of like a yarn review as well. And then for more crochet, I did the Divine hat. And let me see if I can find the pattern for you guys. I tried to pull out my patterns to see if I can maybe show you a picture of it. This one I saw, oh, I do not have the pattern. Where's the pattern? Oh, here it is. I haven't been watching a lot of podcasts lately, which is why I'm not doing any shout outs. Only because I've been having technical issues and health issues and, you know, the whole thing. I'm going to brighten that up a little bit. And, but I did watch Rose Likes Crochet. I think I've only watched like 2 podcasts. And, she did the Divine hat that she saw, I think on Billy's, the Crafty Floridians podcast, because she gets a lot of hats for donations. And, she saw this one, and I saw it on Rose Likes Crochet, and I was like, I want to do that hat too. So this is the free pattern, and it's called the Divine Hat, and you can find it on Ravelry. And I made 3 of those. So as you can see, it's like a nice front post spiral, which I really liked. And this was just yarn and stash. I don't even know. Let me see if I kept... I did. This one was in Crafter's Secret. In Pearl Fleck, 97% acrylic, 3% viscose, which must be the Fleck. Anyways, this is some of the yarn that I was gifted. So I went ahead and used it for... I haven't blocked these, so they're a little wonky. But here's one, and then I made another one in stash yarn, and this one was, what was this one? Red Heart Soft, I'm pretty sure. And it turned out really pretty. And then this one I did in Red Heart Stripes. Sorry, couldn't remember. And this was in a crazy color. What was this color? Bright Stripes or something like that. I don't have it with me, but I'm sure you guys have seen this really bright, crazy, fluorescent color. Hope it's not blowing out the camera. I got cut off because I'm running out of memory on my phone again, so I'm trying to save up for a decent camera so I don't have to use my phone. So if anybody has like a good cheap camera, let me know. And see how much more filming I can get done here, but I gotta go kind of quick because I think it's only going to give me like maybe 8 minutes. So, oh, and then I also made some shorty socks. This one I posted on Instagram. This is just a pattern, which I don't have it with me, but this was a free pattern from Wendy Johnson, and I can't remember the name of it. Something Wind, I think, but I'll post it down below. And this was out of Southern Skeins yarn. Out of her sock club, I just did some shorties with the contrast cuff, heel, and toe. And then I made another shorty pair of socks out of scraps, and I used a different heel on this one. So, and I kind of waited as I went to see how much I would need for shorty socks, and I think I was doing about 22 grams total. So I started going through all my other scraps to see if I could use some of my other sock scraps for that, and I couldn't. I think I had 2 that had enough. Everything else was just too small. So what I did was I pulled out a pattern I wanted to do a long time ago, and it was this one. And this one's, oh, by the way, we're moving into knitting. This is all knitting. This was the Pinwheel Scrap Blanket by Mina Phillips, and I'd had this pattern forever and had to make it because I wanted something to do all my scraps, all my sock scraps, and you know, I've tried everything. I tried all of the squares, I didn't like them, crochet or knit. I tried the Hexie Puffs, I didn't like those. I tried a 10 stitch and I didn't like that in the fingering weight. So anyway, I finally figured out how to do this one. And here is what it looks like out of my scraps. And it only uses like 5 to 7 grams per triangle. So what you do is you start, here I'll show you when I've started. You start like a little triangle. You have to do some short rows. They're just German short rows, so they're easy. And then you keep adding on. So it was a little tricky, so I made one square, ripped it back because it was a mess, and then did an entire square once I figured out how to do it. And you can see where I joined here. I don't like that. That makes me sad. So I might rip this one back and redo it. But this one was my first one, and it actually turned out a little better right here. So if you can see it, oops, that's the back side. This one I joined a little better here. You can see it a little bit. You do like, she has the option of like just mattress stitching it or doing like a 3-needle, modified 3-needle bind off on the back. And I like the 3-needle bind off. You can see my little ridge here. But I'm not picking up the stitches right on the front to still make it look like garter. I think I'm picking up too many stitches, like going through 2 stitches instead of maybe 1 stitch to have it still be gartery here. So I've got to master that so that they look better. And then I really messed it up on the second one. You can actually see a complete divot on that one. So this one I might rip back and do again. But I'd already done it twice because I accidentally folded it the wrong way with wrong sides together, and so the ridge was on the front. So I had to rip it back once, and then I looked at it after I was done and go, oh, that looks like crap. I'm not doing it again. So, and these have been blocked. I kind of block them as I go because they're so small and easy. And so this is the size they're going to be. And I think it's like maybe 12 by 12, 10 by 10. And so I'll probably end up ripping this back later to fix it. But you can see, just throw any scraps together. I'm not trying to do any rhyme or reason, because if I do that, I'll be way too meticulous about it and I'll never get it done. So I'm just grabbing scraps and throwing them together. And even socks that are a little bit thicker, like this one's in Croy and all this is in Opal, except for this one. I think this one's Hobium. It's a little thicker, but after you block, it sticks out a little bit more because it's thicker yarn, but it's still perfect. So I'm just going to grab whatever's in my scrap basket and just start making these squares to get rid of all my scraps, because I'll show you my scrap basket when I'm done, and it's huge with sock scraps. So I'm really happy to finally have a blanket I like making. And it's really fun. It keeps you interested with the short rows, and the construction's neat, and when you're done you get a whole square, and then you only have to seam together the big squares at the end, or maybe even like do like a border and then put them together. I don't know yet, but it's a scrap blanket, and it was really funny. My boyfriend saw it and he goes, oh, those are all my socks. I was like, yeah, you recognize them. So that's been really fun, and it's mindless once you memorize the patterns. So this one's really fun to do. So I'm glad I finally figured it out. I screwed up a lot in the beginning because I was not having good brain at the time. And then I also made a little owl. Let me see if I can brighten this up. There we go. And he's just out of scraps. Again, I was trying to find worsted scraps and then some eyes that I don't use because I have some blue and some brown ones, and they just stare into your soul, don't they? There's just those eyes that are just like, I don't think I'm going to put that on an actual animal because it's kind of creeping me out. But I used it for this guy just to kind of test it out. And then the back is just the same. You just do two the same and then kind of stitch it together to make like a little keychain or something. And this was this pattern, which was Owl Keychain pattern by Yarn Artist Designs. And just be careful if you get this pattern. I think it was a free pattern. These are some patterns I've had for a while. But she does like way too many pages. If you need the help with the pictures, that's great, but it's a lot of ink. A lot of ink. And I didn't know that when I printed it out. It was forever ago. On my old printer, which you can see is all goofed up. I finally got a new printer for like 30 bucks. I'm so happy. But if you do get it, just remember, like, I think she has maybe a page with all the instructions, which I believe is the first page. If you don't need the pictures, just print this page, which is like page number 2. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of pages for a very simple pattern, and it's going to waste a lot of ink, because here, look, here's the last page. Waste a lot of paper and ink. So just a heads up, just do this page if you want just the pattern, because it fits on one page. It's a really small pattern. But yeah, I got all these pages. What else did I do? Sorry if I'm kind of rushed. I'm just trying to do this before I run out of memory, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have to clear off my phone completely, because even though I delete all the videos on it, it doesn't actually delete them out of the phone, like the hidden trash can somewhere I can't find that I've been looking for like 3 years. So I'm going to have to completely wipe off my phone, which is why I'm looking for a camera. So again, if anybody has a cheap camera, I can't spend $500 on a camera. And then before it cuts me off, I'll go ahead and do... I've been making some progress on my Avene Death, which is also knitting. And this is out of lace weight, which I do not like lace weight. It hurts my hands. It does not make me happy. But I bought this as a kit forever ago, I think off of Craftsy. And it's been sitting in stash. So one of my goals this year was to get rid of stash yarn, stuff that's been sitting, to make it up and to use up my scraps. Because, yeah, I have a lot of scraps and stuff. But anyway, you can see it's lace weight. It's orange and gray. And that's coming out kind of accurately. Not really. It's a little darker, I think. It's hard to tell on my camera too because it always comes out lighter in post when you're editing, but these are out of Mad Tosh back in the day when I could afford Mad Tosh. There we go. It's blowing out again. My camera. Dude, my camera's old. My camera in my phone. My phone is old. And I need to replace it. Seriously. I'm having so many problems. But this one, the gray is in Rainwater and it's in Prairie, which is 100% superwash merino, 840 yards because it's lace weight. But I don't know what the orange is. I'm pretty sure the Rainwater is the gray, but I don't. Oh, I'm showing you the wrong side. Here's the right side. It's just knitting, so the whole thing's garter. And I think I stopped about here, so I added all of this, so I'm really proud of myself. I'm almost halfway, and it does decrease as you go, so each row I get less and less and less stitches, so eventually it'll go really fast. So, but yeah, I don't like lace weight only because it's lace weight, and as you can see, lace weight is very, very thin, and I don't enjoy knitting with it, but also because it hurts my hands, because I tend to grab the needles too tight when I'm doing lace weight. I really don't need to, I just do because I'm afraid they're going to slip off the needle, and so I hurt my hands. That's just me being a dork. I could probably relax a little bit, but that would go against my nature apparently. But yeah, I did a lot of progress on this, and I'm really proud of that because I want this out of stash. I've had this yarn in stash probably for 4 years, and I had this started and not worked on at all. So now I've started like 372 stitches, and now I'm like to 250 stitches, and yeah, it's going quicker and quicker. So I'm really maybe stoked to get that off the needles. This one I'm not enjoying making, but I'll enjoy the finished piece, you know what I mean? Because some stuff is just not fun to work on, but you want the finish. I think I'm more of a finished object knitter, crocheter anyway. Some people enjoy the process more than the finished item. I think I enjoy the finished item more than the process overall, depending on what I'm making, but overall. Oh, I already showed you guys this. Oh, and then I also made some soap. And these are little sheeps. I hope this focuses. And they're in shrink wrap here. So this looks a little, because it touched the soap, but anyway, this has a little heart in the butt. And that looks a little messy, but that's just because it touched the white soap when I was shrink wrapping. And then there's another one, and then there's just a plain one. And I've already given some of them away. I think I made like 8. But this is out of shea butter, and I really like this. With I used an apple rose scent fragrance oil with this one's 100% shea butter. These are 100% except for there's some clear melt and pour just for the hearts. And they are melt and pour, they're not cold process. I'm working my way up to cold process, but I'm kind of just doing a lot of melt and pour and practicing with the melt and pour so that I can start collecting my oils and everything for cold process later. So, and I love these, they smell so good. And I was using goat's milk, but the shea butter is even softer on your skin, so it's super awesome. But it's like the bar doesn't last as long though because it's so soft. The goat's milk is soft, but it lasts longer, but the shea butter's softer, so you kind of have that trade-off. And I think, I'm looking around, I have some designs too I've been working on, but I can't show those yet. I got a couple of designs. Yeah, I'm kind of lifting everything out. I think that's it for now. So I just wanted to put something out there, even though I was having all my technical issues here. I'm going to try to fix my phone. And my lighting is always bad. I always end up trying to film on a day when it's overcast, and plus my phone going, the lighting is getting really funky on my phone. So that's it, and so I'm going to go ahead and edit this and put it up, and I'll show you my sock yarn stash that I'm trying to use up. And also I'm going to be doing my 1,000 sub giveaway pretty soon. So once I get my camera fixed and some memory, I will be doing that video. So just keep a heads up on that. And I missed you guys, and I wish I was putting out a little more videos and better quality. So hopefully when I clear off my phone, I can do better quality too, because I've been noticing it's getting a little, like I said, I just need a new phone and I need a camera. So I just need to get the money on that. So yeah, the 1,000 subscriber video is going to be coming up. It's also going to be my podiversary video, because my podiversary is actually in July. I think around the 21st or 22nd. So it's going to kind of just be together. And then I have a tutorial video I'm going to try to do, but again, technical difficulties, so that's been slowing me down. I'm doing the mermaid off of the red heart yarn, and I'm trying to do a tutorial for you guys on that one, because I did the elephant first, didn't do the tutorial, doing the mermaid now, trying to do the tutorial, but again, technical problems, which hopefully I'll have figured out this week. And I'll get that one up, and I think that's it for current stuff. Other than that, I've been cleaning. I've been trying to do like spring, summer cleaning and minimalizing. I've been watching some minimalizing videos, which I will try to link some down below. What else have I been doing? Oh, I got an Instapot. My boyfriend bought me an Instapot, so I've been playing with that, and that's been super fun. I made a pot roast. It turned out really, really good. Also, I'm going to have some unboxing videos coming up. I have 2 subscriptions, and because you guys know I had to cancel the Mary Maxim because I just I didn't agree with the shipping. And I've got another one to replace that, plus my Southern Skeins, so I'll do that unboxing. And I have a Lion Brand haul, which is a small haul, but I'm going to unbox that. And then I also have a early birthday present from my boyfriend that I will unbox for you guys. So anyway, sorry about being a little MIA with all the issues with my technology. And hopefully this video is not super blurry and the lighting super bad. I'll try to adjust it all. So anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you my sock yarn basket. I had it all shoved into a box, so like I said earlier, I'm trying to get through my scraps and use everything up that's been sitting around, or you know, from my worsted weight scraps to my sock yarn scraps, and this is all sock yarn. So this is one of those big bins from the Dollar Tree, and I just moved everything from the box into this basket so I can see it. So yeah, these were all sock yarns that I didn't have enough to do shorty socks with. I mean, some of them I could have if I'd done like a contrast heel or in toe and all that, but I was like, nah. I just pulled out the ones that I had enough for the whole sock, so I didn't have to try to, you know, find a contrasting color and fuss with shorty socks. So I think I've got enough for like 2 more pairs of shorty socks, and then the rest is just enough to make a lot of those little triangles on the pinwheel blanket, because one of these you can do a lot of, like I said, 5 to 7 grams for the pinwheel square triangles to make a square. And the way the pinwheel goes is, oh, my battery's gonna die. Great. As you make it, you're actually attaching the next triangle. So the only thing you have to seam is just the very last 2 together. You'll have a gap, and then you just have to seam those 2 together. I don't know if I was clear enough on the other video, other part of the video. But yeah, so it's super fun because you just kind of make the whole thing. Then you have the one gap, and you just sew that shut. And then you put all the squares together later. So each one of these little triangles is, this section is just 5 to 7, so you can get a lot of little wedges out of it and use up the whole thing, which is another reason why I didn't like a lot of the other blankets, is you had to have an exact amount to make the square, and if you didn't have it, then you couldn't make the square, and you know, if you had too much, you could only get like a square and a half, and that wouldn't work. And with these, you can really eke out all the entire ball or entire scraps that you have left, which is the 5 to 7 per little wedge. So, but yeah, as you can see, it got a lot in there. I'm trying not to tangle it, but I have a lot of scraps, so I'm figuring I'll probably have a good sized blanket when I'm done.